What if your mind is not just observing reality, but actually creating it? Not in a fantasy way, not in a motivational quote, but in a real, scientific, and deeply spiritual sense. Because if this is true, then everything you see, everything you feel, everything you believe is real might not be as fixed as you think. Let's begin with a simple question. Right now, are you seeing reality, or are you seeing a version of reality created by your brain? Science gives us a shocking answer. Your brain does not show you the world as it is. It shows you a filtered version. Every second, your eyes take in millions of bits of information, but your brain can only process a tiny fraction of it. So what does it do? It selects, it filters, it edits, and then it constructs a reality that makes sense to you. In other words, you are not seeing reality. You are seeing your mind's interpretation of it. Now think about this. Two people can look at the same situation and experience completely different realities. One sees opportunity, the other sees fear. One feels happiness, the other feels pain. Same world, different realities. Why? Because the mind is not just observing, it is shaping. But how deep does this go? Let's go further. In neuroscience, there's a concept called predictive processing. It means your brain is constantly predicting what will happen next based on your past experiences, beliefs, and memories. Then it matches incoming information to those predictions. So instead of reacting to reality, you are reacting to what your brain expects reality to be. This means your past is shaping your present. Your beliefs are shaping your perception. And slowly, without realizing, your mind begins to create a loop. You think a certain way, you see the world through that thinking, and then your experiences reinforce those thoughts. A closed cycle, a self-created reality. Now pause for a moment. If your thoughts are influencing how you experience the world, then what happens if your thoughts change? Does your reality change too? This is where science meets something deeper. Studies have shown that your brain can physically change based on how you think. This is called neuroplasticity. Your thoughts, your focus, your attention literally reshape your brain over time, and your brain shapes your experience of reality. So indirectly, your thoughts are shaping your reality. But there's another layer, something even more subtle. In quantum physics, there is an idea that observation affects outcome, that the act of observing something can influence how it behaves. Now, this is often misunderstood, but it raises an important question. Is consciousness just a byproduct of the brain? Or is it something more fundamental, something that interacts with reality itself? Now let's bring in the spiritual perspective. In ancient understanding, especially in the idea of Shiva, there is a concept of the observer. You are not your thoughts. You are not your emotions. You are the one who is aware of them, the watcher, the witness. And this changes everything, because if you are the observer, then your thoughts are just events passing through you. They are not you. But most people don't realize this. They get lost in their thoughts. They believe every idea, every fear, every story their mind creates. And slowly, they start living inside a reality created by those thoughts, not by truth, but by perception. Now imagine this. What if you step back and start observing your mind, not controlling it, not fighting it, just watching? You notice a thought. It comes, it stays, and then it goes, just like a cloud in the sky, and you remain unchanged. silent, aware. In that moment, you are no longer trapped in your mind. You are beyond it, and something powerful begins to happen. When you stop identifying with your thoughts, they lose their control over you. Your fears weaken, your stress reduces, your reactions slow down, and your perception becomes clearer. Now you are not seeing through a distorted lens. You are seeing more directly, more truthfully, and this is where transformation begins. Because now, instead of your mind creating your reality unconsciously, you begin to create it consciously, not by forcing thoughts, but by choosing awareness. Now think about your daily life. How often do you react automatically? How often do you assume things, judge situations, or expect negative outcomes? And how often do those expectations become your experience? This is the mind creating patterns, repeating cycles, shaping your reality again and again. But the moment you become aware, you break the cycle, you see the pattern, and once you see it, you are no longer controlled by it. This is true freedom, not changing the outside world, but understanding the inside one. Now let's connect this with something practical. If your mind is shaping your reality, then what can you do? Do you just think positive all the time? No, it's not about forcing positivity. It's about awareness, about clarity, about seeing things as they are, without distortion. And this is where practices like meditation come in. When you sit quietly and observe your breath, your thoughts, your sensations, something shifts. You begin to see the difference between you and your mind, and slowly you gain control, not by force, but by understanding. Now imagine living your life from this state, where you are not reacting blindly, but responding consciously, where your thoughts don't trap you, but serve you, where your mind is not your master, but your tool. Would your reality be the same, or would everything begin to change? Because the truth is, your mind is powerful, incredibly powerful, but only when you are unaware. The moment you become aware, you rise above it, and when you rise above it, you gain the ability to shape your experience of life. So, is your mind creating reality? In many ways, yes, but only when you are unaware of it. The real question is, are you creating your reality consciously, or is your mind doing it for you unconsciously? Because the difference between the two is the difference between confusion and clarity, between suffering and peace, between being controlled and being free. And maybe this is what ancient wisdom was pointing toward all along, that you are not just the mind, you are something beyond it, something deeper, something silent, something aware. And when you connect with that, you don't just see reality differently, you experience life in a completely new way. So the next time a thought comes into your mind, don't just believe it, observe it, because in that simple act lies the power to change your entire reality.